to come out of the tunnels of situations that we can find ourselves in. If we stay trapped in situations and scenarios around us and see only the physical and hear about only the physical, it'll be difficult to let go. So allow yourself to forget all of that right now. Ask yourself internally, when I let go of my story, when I let go of the scenes and situations, who am I? And you let go of those for just a moment and allow yourself to become lighter and lighter and more relaxed and peaceful. As you feel yourself come out of your body, as you feel yourself travel beyond your corner of the world, beyond your situations, to a place where you are as vast as the sky, to a place where you are pure, serene, joyful light. Allow yourself to go even more deeply into that stillness, feeling more and more relaxed as you let go and begin to feel yourself as light, as spirit, as a spiritual being who is more than what they experience in that world of form. And as you savor this vastness, allow yourself to step into an even higher dimension, where you experience the sacredness, the beauty of yourself as just light energy. Pure light. And feel how that light touches every corner of the globe. Feel how that light expands beyond edges and borders. Allow yourself to absorb the light of the divine, of God. And imagine that light just like a great, beautiful sun that pours onto you and restores your life, your vitality, your expansiveness. And become aware right now that there are billions of souls out there. And so often we don't connect with them because we're connected in our own story. We're bound by the gravity of our own story. But now that you are beyond all that, become aware of every soul in the universe and feel your eternal connection with this family of souls. Become aware of how each one of them right now could use the pure energy of the light that's emanating from you. Allow this light to touch every soul in the universe. Feel yourself unfurling with this pure spiritual energy. Feel it growing and expanding as you connect with God and connect with every soul. Just bathe in that light. Soak up that light. Feel yourself becoming so absolutely silent. Yet so happy, so free, so alive. Each day, it's so important that we see ourselves as light, that we see the truth of who we are. And to do that, we have to be willing to drop our story for just a few moments and rise into that connection with the divine. Continue to allow the light that pours on you from the divine to also pour onto your entire world family of souls. And see yourself as just shimmering, pure, bright, vital energy, filling every soul, connecting with every soul with this pure, joyful, peaceful, pure light energy. Just continue to soak in that divine love and light from God. Seeing yourself in this form of light opens you up to the ability to communicate with the divine. And having had that communication, return now to the world of your story, of your corner of the globe, of your current situations. But know that you have the ability to transcend them, to remember your light, to connect in light, and to return to these with pure spiritual energy.
Hello everyone, warm welcome to Balanced Life is equal to Blissful Life at Brahma Kumaris, Silicon Valley. This was a 4-week series and today is the last class in the month of April. And like always, we will get started with a guided meditation. Kindly invite you to join me in this meditation. With a smile on your face, relax the muscles of the body and keep the thoughts of the mind aside. There will be always thoughts, feelings, and sensations. This subtle noise will always exist till I am in this body. It's not a problem. But if you think you are that noise is talking about you, then you get disturbed by the noise. And the mind says, you are impatient, you are unkind, you are ungrateful. And if we accept whatever the mind is saying as my truth, then that noise disturbs us. It's an art to learn how to witness everything that happens in the mind and the body. I am just a silent observer, a non-judgmental witness. But it's hard to be a non-judgmental witness if it is something personal. For example, if you witness a scene where your dear family member or your dear friend is involved, or you yourself are involved, then you can't stay detached or a witness. And it's so important to learn how to be a witness, because we are not just observers of this world drama, we are also enacting a role. So I have to know how to observe my role and observe 8 billion souls' role with detachment. In order to watch anything, witness anything, you need an elevated seat. An elevated seat where you can see everything down below. And that seat, that elevated seat, is the seat of your truth. That you, the actor, are not the role that you are enacting. And you are enacting that role through the script of thoughts in your mind. I, the actor, my true nature is dead silence. No thoughts, no words, no sensations. And in this silence, there is deep love, deep joy, deep powers. I'm a pure being of light who's watching my own role and act as per the script in the mind. It's only when I don't consider that role to be me and none of the other actors to be mine, that is when I can detach. Otherwise, we get emotionally involved. And then there is only reactions, incorrect decisions, incorrect actions that leads to bad relationships. This detachment brings inner stability even in the most chaotic situation, even when the body is in a lot of pain. Because the sensations are not me, the thoughts and emotions are not me. I'm a pure, silent, blissful being. And when you are able to maintain this elevated seat of a witness, you can understand everything accurately. You can understand what people need, what they actually mean, and you won't take any sides because nobody is really personally yours. You are an independent actor who's playing close roles with many actors, but it is just a role. Nobody is personally your child, personally your sibling, personally your parent. It's just part of the world drama. Each one of us is equal at the actor level. When we watch old scenes of the drama impersonally, we don't take it personally. When we are able to give our 100%, our 100% performance in that scene with grace, with wisdom, with maturity, our creativity emerges, our innovation powers emerge. It enables us to stay balanced when we are not disturbed. We don't go to any extremes, instead remain in that equanimity through which all the accurate solutions emerge. Very welcome, everyone, to the last class. Today we will focus on how to develop this inner balance. We've been talking about various different kinds of balances. Last week we talked about work-life balance. And today's class, we will talk about how to develop this inner balance. But there was just a slide left from the last class. So first we will cover that, and then we can go over the today's class, which is how to develop the balance. So we talked last week about how it is very, very important to, first of all, have that spiritual grounding. And then we can, through that spiritual grounding, we can maintain this mental and emotional balance. Because mind always aligns with your self-awareness. So if your awareness is limited, that you think of yourself as either a relation or a body or just someone who is a professional, then this identity will always cause the mind to chase things that are changing and perishing. And because the mind is changing, because the mind is chasing something that is changing and perishing, automatically it will always be disturbed. So if the mind is disturbed, then automatically emotions are also disturbed. So the true identification gives us an unlimited space to always remain constant and imperishable. Soul's nature is constant peace, unlimited joy, unconditional love. So when you are in your true identity, automatically your mind aligns with that identity, and then your thoughts and emotions are stable. So when your thoughts and emotions are stable, automatically that energy flows to every branch of life. You will start seeing a very positive impact on relationships, professions, finances, your body and everything. So this is what we covered in the last class. And just in connection, one last thing, right? This is a Hercules, adventure of a man basically crossing the Grand Canyon's rift with on a thin rope, right? Literally using just this pole. Imagine what kind of concentration and bravery and courage this person needs, right? To cross a canyon with just on a tiny rope. This same man also crossed the Niagara Falls, where there's like forceful water right there between that forceful water and everywhere. He again crossed it on a thin rope. So that accuracy and balance, right, is very, very critical. So in this particular diagram, actually, we call that rope on which you are walking is our path to destination. This rope is taking us towards the destination. It is that path that you have to walk on. Each one of us has a destiny to reach to, right? That destiny could be, I just want to be a better version of myself. That destiny could be, I want to accomplish so and so. We all have some aim and objective, which is our destination. In order to reach that, we also need this particular pole, something to hold on to that maintains us, maintains our courage and our balance. That pole, that support that we need to reach our destination in a very healthy and accurate manner is the balance between different virtues. So if you balance your virtues, we talked about so many different virtues that we need to balance, right? Like example here is determination needs to be balanced with flexibility and patience, else it becomes stubbornness. So even positive things, virtues, you'd say, oh, okay, what's wrong? Be very determined, be very flexible, be very patient. But there needs to be a balance. If you go into the extreme of determination, it turns into a negative thing and becomes stubbornness. And if you go into the extreme of being flexible, it becomes a weakness, subservient. If you go to the extreme of patience, it could become carelessness. So we always need this balance. And few more examples, right? We said determination needs to be balanced with flexibility. You need to be very determined, but at the same time, flexibility. And we talked about this in that athlete example who was trying to be a marathon racer, right? You need to be determined on your schedule, but sometimes you need to be flexible too. You need to have a lot of ambitions, but at the same time, you need to be satisfied. Ambitious about the future, satisfied about the past. It shouldn't be empty, only ambition that leads to competitiveness and greed. Whereas only satisfaction leads to laziness, carelessness. You need to analyze every situation, but at the same time, you need to accept it. Sometimes, no matter how much you analyze, nothing comes out of it. You need to know how to accept it, right? So these virtues, when we balance, we can cross all the challenges, all the hurdles that come in our path, and we can reach the destination. So even positive things need to be in balance, otherwise they become a weakness. Any questions on this slide so far? All good? Any questions? All right. So how do we develop balance? How do we develop this kind of balance that we were just talking about so that we can breeze through life, right? All the hurdles that come, we have a pole and we balance everything and we move forward. So I would love to hear your thoughts. If you could share your thoughts, how to develop balance. Feel free to even raise your hand if you want to speak up, or put it on the chat. And you could put it so that everybody can see if you're comfortable. Journaling your thoughts and how things are moving in life. Okay. Okay, that's very practical to be reflective. Very nice. What else? What else can we do to develop balance? When we find life to be like a thin rope where we are thinking that this side could be danger, that couldn't be danger, how do we maintain that balance? No other thoughts? Okay. So here are few steps, right? How do we go about doing this? It's pretty deep, but very useful exercise. Okay, there are two more thoughts here. Let me read it out. Introspection daily via meditation to get clarity. Very, very true. Very true. That is very important. And the second one is just spiritual. Okay, maybe spiritual knowledge is what you meant. So here, what we are taught, first of all, if you want to maintain balance, you certainly need complete clarity where you're able to discern and make good judgments. That balance comes first, you need is silence. Really, the deep silence through which you can observe everything with kind of neutral stand, right? If you are too involved in like, oh, this is mine or this is I, something of mine will get destroyed. If you're too attached to something, you cannot be in a balanced state. You will move to some extreme to protect whatever you think is yours. So the first step is to know your truth And in Brahma Kumaris, the way we are taught our absolute truth, it actually takes you into deep silence, because that is your true nature. And we will talk about this a bit more. Know your absolute truth, know God's absolute truth, to develop deep state of silence. That's the first step. Then the second step, when you are in the deep silence, you can actually detach from everything. Maybe in that particular scene, you made a blunder, a big blunder. You're still able to detach because truth gives you that power. This detachment doesn't mean I don't care, or I'm running away from that situation, or I'm being irresponsible. None of that. There is total accountability, everything is there. But detachment to see things clearly, to develop that balance in that situation as to which side should I move. Should it be to the left side or the right side? Because virtues are sitting on both the head side. For example, when we look at satisfaction and ambition, ambition is on the head side, right? And heart side is satisfaction. Both are equally important. And sometimes you need a balance of both of them, but sometimes maybe you just need ambition, and sometimes maybe you just need satisfaction. You need to be able to move between the two sides. That right judgment will come, first of all, when you detach, go beyond all the polarities to stabilize in your silent state. Third is to discern. When I am not being pulled from this side or that side, what will happen to me? What will happen to my relatives? When all of that is not there because I have detached, there is no sense of I or mine, then you can accurately see everything, interpret everything, get the right perception, and that is when you can make the best decision. Which side should I rely on? Where should I move? This is where that balance develops. So we will go a bit deeper to understand each of these steps so that we can develop balance very easily. Anytime you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or put it on the chat. So what is the absolute self? What is the absolute truth of the self? How do you know yourself? If you could please share your thoughts. What is the absolute truth about your own self? If you had to answer that question, not just who am I, but in depth, who are you? How would you describe your own self? This is not a hard question. Who is the absolute self? Thank you. Soul with innate qualities of peace, purity, powers, love, bliss, and wisdom. Very nice. That's the absolute self. Okay, what else? So, question: how can soul be peace when it has so many disturbing thoughts? Soul on a journey. Very nice. I'm a soul on a journey. In the journey where there is a lot of noise within and outside, right? There is a lot of noise. So, absolute self is this beautiful tiny point of light, invisible light, right? And this is my costume body. You've all heard that. Now, this word absolute means totality, completeness, purity, wholesome, perfection. That is what this word absolute means. Means nothing can be added or subtracted to it. There is nothing can be added because it's complete. Even if you add something, it will make no difference. Even if you take out something, you can't take out, but it won't make any difference because it is absolute. And the absoluteness of the soul is that it doesn't even need to think, doesn't even need to have a body or a sensation for it to be living being. Soul's existence is forever. Soul's innate nature of peace, love, and joy is forever. It doesn't need to create a thought in order to be peaceful. There could be an angry thought and a peaceful thought, but that's temporary, right? I got a lot of angry thoughts yesterday. Okay, mind was disturbed yesterday. Today it is getting only peaceful thoughts. Mind is peaceful today. This is not the peace or the disturbance of the soul. This is just the soul being in this physical body. Mind goes through peacelessness and peace. It's a constant change. Whereas soul is just the observer of all of these changes. Soul's nature of peace does not change. It is complete, absolute being. This is very, very important to grasp because most of the times we are reaching for the peace of mind versus peace of soul is forever. Mind will always go through ups and downs. Some days mind will feel very happy, some days it will feel sad. Some days it will find itself to be very loving, other days it finds itself to be jealous. Mind state completely changes ups and down. Mind is not absolute. But I am absolute. I am constant. Mind has fluctuations, right? We just talked about how it fluctuates. Just a slight change in the body, mind fluctuates. Maybe we were having a great experience of meditation through the mind, but suddenly some pain in the body, mind fluctuates. But my nature is not that. Even though the mind is creating disturbance, body is creating many painful sensations, my nature does not change. I am still forever peace, love, and joy. And the other characteristic of the soul is it's neutral. Very, very neutral because of it being complete. Any kind of thought comes, it allows it. Soul is not disturbed by a person whose behavior is very dishonest or very lazy or very mean. And soul is not attracted to people who are very loyal, honest, and kind. Soul is neutral with everyone because soul's nature is love. So whether you are honest or dishonest, you're lazy or hardworking, my nature does not change. I will allow everyone to be to be the way they want to be, and I'll continue to give love. So I'm not resisting people who are rude, nor am I seeking people who are kind. This is how God is. This is exactly how God is. God doesn't get pulled or have an aversion towards certain things or people. And I am very, very independent. Nobody can restrict me from being peaceful. Nobody can control me. Nobody can influence me. I am that spiritual being who's constantly a very warm creation. So this is the real me. Now about the Supreme, I would love to hear what are your thoughts about this, and we will see how knowing the absolute self and Supreme is the only way to go towards silence. Why the deep understanding of these two faculties is needed. So if you could please share your thoughts, how would you say who is Supreme? And if you could maybe share some of his specialities as you know.
a soul very powerful ocean of divinity and love. Thank you for sharing. Soul on a journey. That was the previous one. Very good. So Supreme is also, like you said, a soul, but a very, very powerful soul. He's the only soul that is bodiless. He's the only soul that is beyond the cycle of life and death. He's untouched by the human and nature's laws. The natural laws that govern us, right? Where there is change, where there is perishability, that does not govern the Supreme. No human law can abide the Supreme. He is beyond these laws. He's beyond the cycle of life and death, and this is what makes him so powerful. And then he is absolute truth. He has full clarity at all the time. There is not a moment of time when he's not the truth. We whereas get shadowed by the ego, by the egoistic mind. We consider ourselves to be the body, we consider ourselves to be the gender, to be the religion, to be the nationality, to be the skin color. We go through lot of falsehood. We forget our previous births as we take new births. Whereas God is the only being that has full clarity. And at every moment, he's only seeing the bigger picture. So his stability is constant, his clarity is constant, his powers, his virtues are always constant. He is the seed of the human genealogical tree. All of us have emerged from the seed supreme, which means we are like him. And then the third is that he's also neutral. He's the most impartial being. He never takes sides, right? People in this world try to please him by, singing his praise, all the prayers and the thank yous and donating money on his name or opening, pilgrimages in his name. But he's not influenced by all of that. He's not like, I'm going to be more nice to people who remember me, who sing my praises. That's not him. He is totally beyond all or any kind of influence. So total independence. And he is ever pure, which makes him to be in constant state of bliss. His mind is always clear, no clutter of thoughts, and his heart is clean, empty, full of love and joy. He has no memories of anybody's past or future or present. Total clean slate is his heart, whereas our heart is filled with experiences and memories of the past. His heart is not like that. It is very, very pure. So you can see God's power is in purity, in being in complete truth, in being in that neutral, bodiless state. Why this is very important is when we start our practice, the Raj Yoga meditation, that who am I, the slides that we just talked about, absolute me, when we start stabilizing in who am I, the biggest roadblocker in our meditation practice is our own mind. It has so many thoughts that are against our truth. We won't even realize when one thought has pulled us. That thought could be, Meghna, you've been on this path for 10 years. I'm not seeing much progress. People who've come way later than you are going so forward. Your practice is wrong. Now, if this thought catches me and I get influenced by it, I will once again be pulled towards the falsehood. Whereas when I stay next to the Supreme, all the thoughts that are against my truth, that are not aligned to God's truth, I will be able to see them as some foreign thoughts and I'll be able to let them pass. Without the force of the Supreme next to me, I will not be able to stay stable in the storms that get created in the mind. So that's why it is so important to know God and to stay anchored and connected to Him. Now we talk about the second step, which is detachment, or in other words, being a silent witness to everything. And this is a very nice picture showing the quote, don't let your mind take the shape of your situation. The situation is very nice, looks like very, very rewarding. Then we are like a smiley face. Wow, everything worked out. It's so good. Everything is moving. I must have done a great job. You've taken the shape of the situation, right? Your mind and its thoughts are all taken up the shape of your situation. Now, suppose a situation changes and suddenly a roadblock comes and you don't have that positive situation. In fact, it turned negative. Then what the mind's thought will say, oh, I don't know what happened. I thought everything got sorted. Now everything is blowing apart. I don't know what I'm going to do. Now again, the mind has taken the shape of the situation. Instead, I always have a choice to watch the outside situation as a witness and also watch the commentary in the mind as a witness. I can do both. So, detachment from your own act, right, your own role that you're performing helps avoid leaning towards extremes. And this is what will help you maintain a balance. But if you get influenced by your role or other people's role, then you will take one or the other extreme and lose your balance. So, a question for all of you. How can we maintain this detachment? How can we maintain detachment and be like this Sakshi, detached observer? If you could please share your thoughts and feel free to raise your hand if you want to speak up. How do we stay detached? What are some things you do to stay detached? Instead of being caught up in that, how do you stay detached? One detachment is from the outside scene, right? Second detachment is from your own thoughts. How do you detach? I'm reading a comment here. Meditation helps to build strength and detach from the situations and stay detached. Very good. Focus on spiritual knowledge. Okay. Spiritual activities. Very nice. What part of the spiritual knowledge will help in detachment? Self-awareness, spiritual activities, self-awareness. Okay. Think of yourself as a soul, as an actor in a situation, playing role, and realize your true nature as soul. Very nice. Actor consciousness certainly helps. The most important is it is to remember is that you are not that situation. If that situation is bad, your mind will create. See, one is to detach from that situation. Suppose the situation, you worked very, very hard, right? Suppose you worked very hard, whether it was maybe something at home, right? Maybe you were throwing a get together for your bigger family, and you really worked hard, you planned a lot and you planned a menu and everything. You did a lot of all of these things mainly all by yourself, right? And you planned, you did work hard. Now the situation is that many people are complaining or saying something or the other which is not very positive. Now this is the situation. Now, in response to the situation, typically a mind that is not spiritually educated, if you're not spiritually, um, you know, kind of keeping up with your practices, if you're not reading or listening to any spiritual knowledge, the worldly mind, matter mind, will create mostly negative thoughts. Look at this, I worked so hard, nobody's recognizing it. Instead of thanking me for this big social get together, they're finding problems, tiny things, they're finding faults. Mind will complain. So one is the detach from the outside situation, that it's okay, people are saying whatever they have to say. But the most important first detachment is I have to detach from my own mind, because the mind is becoming whatever is the situation. Good situation, mind will create good thoughts. Bad situation, mind will create bad thoughts. And I am sitting here on a roller coaster ride. I'm happy, I'm sad. I'm happy, I'm sad. I'm angry, I'm peaceful. That is not the true nature of the soul. That is the nature of the mind, illiterate mind, egoistic mind. So only way to not be fluctuating in my emotions. Oh, some days I'm very happy, some days I'm very sad. This is a roller coaster life which majority of the people of the world are living. So I need to first of all understand that I am indeed living in a big physical world. This earth, planet earth is a grand theater. There couldn't be a bigger theater than this planet earth, right? On this theater, I, the actor, has come to perform roles. We are all roles, 8 billion. This is a grand stage where 8 billion souls are performing their roles. Sometimes the roles will be happy, sometimes the role will be sad. You will see most shows will have positive, negative, dual characteristics. Some people will win, some people will lose, some people will be praised, some will be defamed. There will be sorrow, joy, love, hatred, war, truce, peace, awards. All things happen in the drama. Now, this drama is external drama, but it is coming and manifesting itself because the script of this drama is locked up inside the 8 billion souls. Every soul, when it comes down, it comes with a script. So in order for me to detach from this physical world, I first need to know my stronger, real, richer identity. I cannot detach if I think I am this role. Suppose in my case, I think I am Meghna. I can't detach from Meghna because that is all I know. What do you mean detach from Meghna? It is me. How can I move away from myself? If somebody is killing her, then they are killing me. I can't detach from that. But when I know Meghna is not me, I am separate from Meghna, then I can detach. So I need to know an identity that is more elevated than this physical identity. And that is where this understanding that where do I come from? Sky beyond the physical sky. This is a land of stars, invisible tiny stars, along with the supreme star. This is my real home. This is my real form. So it's important to maintain this connection that I am a soul, this invisible star. Meghna will make, throughout the day, I make a practice of going and sitting in Supreme's lap. This is my real home. Here, the soul without the body is dead silence. No sound at all. Complete silence. No thoughts, no feelings, no words, nothing. It's complete silence. And every soul's nature is like that. But the moment the soul enters the body, we have our own script. I come with a script here. And as per the script, my role enacts, emerges. Right? And as an actor, I can attach to my absolute truth with the Supreme. So when I know that my true nature is silence, peace, love, and joy, then I can detach from this role called Meghna. Meghna will sometimes be happy, sometimes sad. Meghna will be yelled by her family sometimes and she'll be loved by her family other times, right? Based on that, Meghna's mind keeps changing. But I can observe other people's role and also my role with detachment. But I can't detach till I don't know a more elevated, stronger, richer identity, right? But when you know your true identity, you can detach from your limited identity. Then I will enter this, theater with desirelessness. I have no desires because I am already complete. I'm already the child of the Supreme. So I'm entering this drama for the sake of fun, for the sake of experiencing my truth. Because here soul can't know that it is peace, love, and joy. Here I don't know that I'm child of the Supreme. Here I don't know that there are 8 billion actors. I don't know that my nature is love, peace, and joy. Here the soul is in a vegetable state, coma. So that is why soul enters this physical world. But now that I know what is my true nature, it is godlike, I can enter this world theater with detachment, with no desires at all. I'm here to give my 100% love, my 100% joy to every scene. I've entered this world drama to enrich it, to make it a more interesting, mesmerizing drama. When I am anchored to my reality, then my fragrance, my spiritual fragrance of the actor will flow through every role. I will not be loving only towards the role of the child. Some actor is playing the role of my child. I will not just be loving towards them. I'll be loving towards every actor because I've awakened to my reality that I am a actor whose nature, whose innate nature is love. Right? So this is where this complete detachment and complete, with this detachment, I'm able to see things very clearly. I can understand what the other actor wants from me. And when I am able to discern properly, I can make the right decision on which side of the pole I need to balance better. Should I be moving more towards ambition or should I be moving more towards satisfaction or should I stay in between? All of those right judgment calls will come only when I am able to detach from everything. And detachment comes from knowing my absolute truth, my silence, my elevated nature, my godlike nature. That is when I can detach from everything. And this is how God is. He's always in the truth. He's always detached and loving. So this is what we wanted to cover in this series. We are ending a bit early today. But if you have any questions about the entire series, any questions, feel free to raise your hand or put them on the chat. No questions. All good. Yes, there is a new series starting next week, and I'll share about that shortly. As always, please share your feedback with us. If you want us to conduct the next series on a particular topic, share that also with us. We will try our best to honor it. So your feedback really helps us in structuring the content better, coming up with newer topics, making any kind of changes that help you absorb more from this series, right? So always share with us, and we will also put the links to all the things for you to provide feedback on the chat. So please check all of those. Here is the link to provide feedback to us. We'd really appreciate your feedback. And then next is if you benefited from this series and any events at Brahma Kumaris, we would appreciate your donation. As you know, we are a non-profit organization and we don't charge for any of these series or workshops. But if you feel you've benefited and you would like others to continue to benefit, any kind of money donation you would like to contribute, we highly would be grateful for that. And it is completely tax deductible. And here is the link to donate. And then we are also starting Raj Yoga meditation course next week. If you haven't taken this course, I highly recommend it. It is in person only. And it is offered in both English and Hindi for 4 consecutive weekends starting on May 3rd, next week, from 10 to 11 p.m. Sorry, 10 to 11 a.m. in the morning both on Saturday and Sunday for 4 weeks. This is a in-person event only, and I just put in the link to register for this event. And then next month we are starting a parenting series to bring about a change. But we are all parents, whether we have physical kids or not, whether it's at work or in neighborhood or any kind of organization we might be involved in. We are in some ways parenting. A manager also, for example, in a way is like a parent taking care of their employees. So this is the topic we will be covering next week. And the link to register is again on the chat, so you can check it out, svbrahmakumaris.org/self-dev. It'll be at the same time, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Sundays. And it's starting on May 4th, next weekend, next Sunday, for 4 consecutive Sundays. So this is what we wanted to cover in this series. Thank you all for joining us and participating. Wishing you all a very happy weekend and a happy week ahead. Om Shanti, everyone. Thank you.